it's an interesting finding, right? That for ages, well, for 12 months, we believe that Temu was a hit with younger generations. You found the opposite. Let's start by explaining the methodology of how you brought the data about.
Yeah, sure. Attain is a commerce data platform that enables outcomes, both driving outcomes and measuring outcomes for brands and advertisers. And unlike retailers who can only see really inside of their four walls or on their shopping experiences, Attain has over 6.5 million consumers that are, with their consent, sharing over $500 million a day in sales behavior, credit card, debit cards, basket level information. And with that data, it gives us an unrivaled view of how consumers are actually spending their money and their behaviors in real time across retail and every sector of the US economy, including social commerce channels, which are what we're talking about today.
So don't get me wrong, Brian. I'm a young man, and sometimes when I go onto an e-commerce platform, I look at the basket size and I say, stop, just stop. But if you look at the data, the transaction size difference between somebody that in a category I fall into and the boomers that Spencer was talking about, it's not that different in terms of the dollar spend.
Yeah, it's not that different in terms of the dollar spent. It's the frequency in which these boomers and Gen Xers are spending on the platform. I mean, what's really surprising, if you really think about it, is that you would think that this would be for the Gen Z economy because they're anchored in social media. It's their primary source of content consumption. But in this retail e-commerce environment that's been evolving, we're going through somewhat of a renaissance. And that our data suggests that digital is nuanced when it comes down to it. And that it's every facet of the economy has a different market and a different niche. And advertisers need to rethink their engagement strategies if they want to capture more market share outside of the Gen Z economy.
Brian, the data helps us understand Temu, but in isolation, have you guys got any data that helps us to understand better Temu's performance in this market, at least against other players like Amazon, but also Shein as an example?
Well, our research looked at last year Amazon Prime Days and how Amazon was doing during the holiday season. And we saw in the initial get-goes of the holiday kickoff that Amazon sales were relatively flat. And arguably, we're talking about a small base. But Temu's been around for a year, year and a half, and their growth has been explosive over that period of time. Again, it's off of a small base, but we're seeing what is the remarkable points around are retailers going to have the strangle like Amazon, Target, Walmart, have the strangle on US consumers when it comes to quick commerce, or are new entrants going to be in the market and solve a unique need for different segments in this fractured retail economy that's starting to come about?
Brian, what does the real-time data tell you about the direction for Temu as we move past the holidays in this early part of the new year?
Well, let's take a step back. What the interesting impact here is that companies like Temu and Shein will have on U.S. retail, like Walmart and Amazon. Will consumers lean on quality and brand equity and fast shipping, or will we see a race to the bottom? So retailers like Shein, will the low prices really compel consumers to test this market? And the gamification that Spencer was talking about earlier, it's too soon to tell, but I will tell you from our data in real time, we are seeing massive impacts of Shein and Temu entering the US market and stealing share from all parts of the generational spectrum in the US economy right now.